Hello, welcome back. Right, as you can see, the title of this video is going to be a full system comparison of Impossible Mission, the sort of classic C64 game that we're going to see on the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64, BBC Micro, ZX Spectrum. I'd never played the game before today on any of the systems. I had seen it on display in the shops and stuff for the Commodore back in the day. It was one of the games that, you know, used to batter us poor specky owners over the head with, oh, you haven't got Impossible Mission. We have got Impossible Mission. I always thought it never came out on the Spectrum until the sequel, but clearly it didn't because I'm playing the first one. The plot of it is you are a secret agent. You've got to infiltrate the underground lair of supervillain Elvin Atombender, who is incredibly forgetful and leaves all the codes to his nuclear devices and stuff just lying about down the back of sofas. So you've got to infiltrate and search these various places to look for said codes. Elvin Atombender is a fantastic name. It's you know, reminiscent of one of the old British wrestlers from back in the day on, you know, Sunday morning sort of wrestling. If you were old enough to remember that, you can just imagine a tag team with Big Daddy and Kendo Nagasaki against Elvin Atombender and Giant Haystacks. That would have been great. What a name. But I've not watched any sort of playthroughs of this. I've just tried to sort of go and find and figure it out for myself. I've probably played it completely wrong, you know, but this is me. I'm not the world's most brilliant games player, but I did give it a go, and it's just to sort of a vehicle to sort of hang our memories and reminiscences of the various versions of them off and create discussion. So, you know, the goal as always is if you owned one particular system, share your memories of the game on that and how you think it stacked up against the other ones that you see. It's a game that I would normally have shied away from back in the day. Like I said, I'm not very good at playing games, and it always struck me as being sort of incredibly difficult. It's the kind of game that I would have played for about 10 minutes, not got very far in it, and then just decided to, as I used to say, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. But I've given it a go today because I saw there was a version of it for the BBC Micro, which I was surprised about, but it meant that I could do a full system comparison. So let's get on with it. Like I said, the running order is Amstrad, Commodore, BBC, Spectrum. Hope you enjoy the video. Hello, welcome back. Right, Amstrad version of Impossible Mission. Like I said at the top, this is, you know, it's not going to be a playthrough or anything. I've only just started playing this game about 20 minutes ago. This is the first time I've ever played Impossible Mission, the first version of it I've ever played, and it's the Amstrad CPC. We're going to see Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64, BBC Micro, ZX Spectrum, not necessarily in that order. So the aim of it, as ever, is to just compare the versions against each other, see what their strengths, similarities and weaknesses are, and give everyone who is familiar with the game an opportunity to comment on what their favourite version was and what they think the other versions that they've seen, if you've seen them for the first time, etc., whether or not they you enjoy them, they stack up against what you say, how they fare, basically. Like I say, you're not going to get much out of me on this video. It's the game I always shied away from, I'll be honest with you. Although it's considered as a sort of bona fide classic, it always struck me as being far too difficult and fiddly. So whenever it was kind of suggested or anything, I gave it, you know, somewhat of a wide berth. Until today, I thought I might as well go and play it. It's something I can do a four-system comparison on. I didn't know it was out on the BBC Micro, so that's why I'm excited to sort of show you it. Right, going to press J for joystick. I did try with keys earlier. I just couldn't work out what the keys actually were. Okay, let's get into it. Oh no, let's press J. Right, get into it. Here we are. Now, just quickly, left, right, up, down, fire makes you jump. If I press down and fire, you see I get access to this console at the bottom. I haven't worked out what any of those buttons do because I've not watched a playthrough or anything of this at all. So I'll just go to off to turn that off. Now, I really like the way let me just focus in a bit on that so you can see a bit more. I really, really like the way that the main figure is depicted and the way he's animated, especially when he jumps. I think it's really, really good. I've got this kind of room here. Now what I've got to do, this is kind of like a tune, sort of like, if you remember that game Simon. If I press up in front of this, it will give me 3 or 4 notes, and then I have to repeat those back, but in ascending order from low to high. So let's see what it gives us, and let's see if I can do this. Probably not, but... So... right, that don't seem to have done anything. I'm not going to spend all day sort of hanging around on that anyway. There we go. Now, the aim of the game is obviously, you know, you're in Elvin Attenbender's lair, and he's left loads of passwords lying about carelessly to various bits and pieces, and you've got to go through and sort of search everything because he's the world's most careless supervillain, and he leaves stuff down the back of his sofa in the bathroom, places like that. Oh dear! So what you've got to do is you've got to go through each room and search all the various different items by pressing up whilst you're standing in front of them. Ow! Fuck it. Oh, balls. By standing and pressing up. Oh, and not dropping on the robot heads. Now, the reason, like I said, I steered clear from it is it always struck me as being a very, very difficult game. And it isn't easy, I won't lie. But it's not as bad as I thought it would have been. Oh, you fucker. A lot of the time the jumps, you know, you need to make, oh dear, pixel perfect. And it can be an annoyance when you get all the way down to where you want to be, or very close to where you want to be from one side of the screen to another, and you misjudge something and you end up having to start all the way back at the entrance to the screen. That is a frustration, but also there doesn't seem to be any kind of life limit on this. There are, you know, there's a time limit, but there doesn't seem to be a life limit, which means, you know, if you get messed up on or something, you can just die basically and get yourself out of the pickle that you found yourself in. Now, I'm really quite enjoying this. It's good fun. Now, this room's a bit of a pain in the arse. I've been here a couple of times before. Let's see if I can disable the robots. No, I need a password. Come on. I'm going to avoid this room for now because that robot on the right of the screen just there, he's a pain in the backside and I can't get past that bit. So we'll go and find somewhere else so we can see if we can get some codes for disabling robots. Show you how that works. That's not looking helpful either, is it? Oops, a daisy. Right. A lot of it is sort of like learning what patterns they sort of move in, and you know, it can be incredibly frustrating to sort of come on. Oh, I've done it again. You know, especially the ones that have that kind of sort of like homing mentality. They just sort of home in on you. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be really disinterested in this, but you know, there's some good animation. It sounds really good, and I've been critical of Amstrad games in the past for lacking sound or sounds. Oh fuck that! I'm just going to go and have a look somewhere else. But this is really good. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be, despite its difficulty level. Which, you know, where do I want to start here? Let's go and have a look in there. So there's nothing in that one. Oh, for God. Oh. Whoa! Is there anything in here? So there's nothing there. So the only possible places left are... Now, these lifts can be a bit fiddly. I don't know what that was. A piece of something or other. So I want to sort of try and get across there, but I can't unless I come in from the back of the room. Oh, no, that is way misjudged, that jump. You see what I mean? Oh, no, I don't want that. The patterns don't seem to be... Oh, the patterns don't seem to be... No, I don't want that. patterns don't seem to be... I've done it again! But it's, you know, this is me being really sort of crap at the game. I'm sure some of you out there who mastered it are sitting there thinking, look, he's just going to stand there now and just fire and not let me get into that. Let's see. Have I got? I've still got no passwords, so I can't sort of do anything with that. Right, that's just the Amstrad version of Impossible Mission. I've shown you hardly any of that. And that's purely because of my own gameplay ineptitude, nothing to do with the game at all. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. Let's move on. Let's show you one of the other versions of that. One of the other versions now. Okay, welcome back. Right, here we are. What is considered the sort of definitive version out of these microcomputer versions. I know it came out on other systems, but for this, out of the Spectrum, Commodore, Amstrad and BBC Micro, this was considered the best one back in the day for a number of reasons, which hopefully I will show you. Now, this is today is the first time I've ever played this. I had seen it in action on display models in stores and stuff. Never ever played it myself. As I said on the Amstrad segment, it was a game I always kind of shied away from. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, let's turn this up a bit so that we can listen to the speech when it starts. So I'm going to press space to get going. I don't want the high scores. Right, reset.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
That's brilliant, that is. Right, so let's go down. I'll turn that down a bit now, actually. The animation on this is, yeah, really good. That's that thing where I've got to... Now, I've obviously won something there, but like I did on the Amstrad version, I couldn't tell you what it is. Hopefully it's a code to disable some robots. Now, this kind of sound effects as he's running along is brilliant. It makes you think he's actually sort of in an underground lair. It's all echoey and everything. It's really, really good. Oh, no. Yeah, come on. Right, so let's see what's down here. Right, have I got something to disable? Oh, no, I haven't. Right, okay. So let's log off. See if I can do this. No is the answer to that. Ow, you So exactly the same kind of frustrations as the Amstrad versions. Now, these lifts, you don't seem to have to be sort of like perfectly positioned on them, which is a really good thing, actually. I think, anyway. Let's wait for him to fire, because I just know he's going to shoot as soon as I go up. See? Look at that! How's that fair? Anyway. Yeah, oh dear. I'm going to give this a try. Ah! This is a really, really great version, and I can see why it's so well regarded. It is hugely difficult. Oh, cool, that was a stroke of luck, wasn't it? Right, so let's search the tape machine. Nothing there, so all that sort of drama, and there's fuck all up there. I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to be able to get... Oh, I thought I wasn't going to be able to get there to search that other one. Now, let's see if I've got a robot disable thingamy. No, I bloody haven't. Right, okay, I'm going to get out of there. Or should I go the other way? I've just seen... Oh, destroy him, my robots. The synthesized speech on it is brilliant. And it was, you know, it was the unique sort of feature, really, of the game that everyone sort of went on about, that I sort of remember. That bleeding black bouncing ball thing? I've never seen that before. Oh! Yeah, alright, don't milk it, sunshine. Ugh. Talk about dramatic. Whoa! Jesus Christ! I can't do any of that, can I? Because I haven't got anything. Right, okay. Back to the lift. What's this way? Oh, I'm just going around in a big circle there, aren't I? Yeah, I've been there. That's a bit of a pain. Never mind. Let's see what's down here. Oh, stop! Yeah, this is really, really impressive. I won't pretend it isn't difficult, because it bloody is. But yeah, Commodore 64... Oh, for God's sake. Commodore 64 owners, how much effort did you put into this game when you bought it? Did you manage to complete it, or was it just one... Was it just too tricky? Great sound effects at playing this game. Now I've got something there. Oh, I don't know what it is though. Right, so let's try and get a little bit further on this screen. Let's see if there's anything in there. Nothing there. See, that's a bit of a pain in the arse. You make all that effort sort of going up and trying to find stuff, you know, climbing up screens, and you find there's nothing there to find. Bit of a bummer. And then that happens and you end up all the way back down at the bottom. That's not a pain in the arse at all. Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. It's all part of the game. I'm not doing that screen. Let's look for another one to do. Oh! Do we want to go there? Yeah, well, I'm right at the bottom now then, so let's try.
Destroy him, my robot.
Well, that's not very nice. Right, okay. Now, oh, I was just about to say, take a few seconds to look at the layout of each screen and the movement of the robots, and then sort of plan your way around that way. And then I went and, oh, I just did it again. Totally sort of like contradicted myself by doing that. Come on, don't come back and shoot me, don't come back. Stay there, stay there, stay there. No, all that effort and there's fuck all in that bookcase. Right, what's in the bed? What's he left in bed? Dirty old pants or a wank mag? I don't know. Ah! Ah! Ow, 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 ow. That is painful. Right, come on. Let's have one more go at this screen, come on. Because I nearly got it there, it was just me who messed it up. And again I messed it up. Whoa! I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Oh, hang on, actually, no, I haven't got anything yet. I haven't got any codes for robots. Ah! I've only got 2 more things to search. Back when I had hair, this would have had me seriously pulling what little of it I had out. No! Roll right into him. Come on, Baz. Ah! See, it's one of those games where there are times where you can sort of get everything timed perfectly, and then other times you try it, you just can't get it at all. As I'm showing you quite ably there. But this is, you know, frustrations aside, I can see what all the fuss was about. My kind of game? I'm not too oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not too sure about that, whether or not it's my kind of game. But, you know, considered a classic of the Commodore 64 in particular. Ah, for right, 2 more goes. We'll have 2 more goes at this. If I don't get it, then I'll we'll end this segment. Oh, I didn't realise I could go up there. Ha! I'll trust you, Baz. There's nothing. I've got nothing, and I can't jump over him because he ain't going to move. Because he's a swine. Yeah, he'll only... Ah! Sod it. Sod it. Right, okay. That's the Commodore 64 version of Impossible Mission. What a really, really, really enjoyable game that is. Right, let's move on. Okay, here we go. Impossible Mission for the BBC Micro. Right, I was really, really surprised to see that this was in existence, but sort of quite happy as well, because it was a big release back in the day. And it's good to see that the BBC was being supported around this time. So let's go and have a look at it and see how it is, how it compares to the other versions. And again, BBC Micro owners, please shout up with your experiences, etc. Memories of the game, if you had it, or if you were in fact not aware of its existence. Now, the usual ZX, left and right, and asterisk and question mark for up and down and return for jump and actions and stuff on the BBC Micro version, as in other games. Now, I've mentioned before, and it's created some discussion before, that I'm not too keen on that as a control method. I find it quite fiddly, but never mind. Whoa! But first things first, you're going to see there are some compromises from the other versions in the BBC Micro version. The graphics chunkier and blockier and not quite as well defined, but still quite well animated. And the game moves and sounds really good. Not sure if you can pick the sound up. I might have to turn the TV up if I can find the remote control for it, which I can't, but never mind. So exactly the same kind of thing on this as you got to do on the other versions. Right, what's he left down the back of the sofa? Nothing. All that effort, and he's left me nothing to find. Right, okay. So yeah, but it's exactly the same gameplay-wise, apart from the graphical compromises, as the other versions, and I think it's actually quite impressive. Apart from when I do that. That was bad luck. He's done it again. What are the chances of that happening twice, eh? Oh, right, just managed to get there. Come on, let there be something in the fridge at least. Yes, there was. I don't know what it was though, because I am, as you've probably worked out by now, completely winging this. Right, so I've got something there that just then that will allow me to disable the robots, which they look like they've already been disabled now. And I'm not going to waste it because I might need it elsewhere. Really, really nice sort of sound effect there, like the Commodore 64 version, that sort of evocative of being in an echoey underground lair. Right, he can get out of the way. Come on. Ah! So yeah, you can see it's got exactly the same wind-ups and right, what's in there? Nothing. Bloody hell. All that effort. Get him out of the way. He's not going to get out of the way now, is he? He's just going to stand there like a sod. Right, let's jump over there. Now he's going to come after me. I've got something there, I don't know what. What's up there? And I've got another robot go to sleep thingamy. Oh! Right, so I've got everything in that room. Let's go across. Back to the lift. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Wrong way. Oops, a daisy. Right, if I disable these robots, because I've got passwords now. Right, okay, so now I can sort of just go around with impunity until that runs out. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh! Something there. Another robot sod off thing. Right, got to go this way, haven't I? Yeah, it's playing really, really nicely, the BBC Micro version. Right, here again. But yeah, as you can see, it's just the same kind of thing. Go around levels and lifts and try and find things. Oh, didn't even see that there. Oh. Oh, now I made that. Right, so what should I do in here? Let's freeze them again. Right, okay. Never mind. Right, okay, that's the BBC Micro version of Impossible Mission. Really, really quite impressive, despite the compromises that they've made. They've actually managed to keep the game intact, which is, you know, what it's all about, really. Right, let's move on. Hello, right, welcome back. I've decided to go back to Spectaculator and record from there for the Spectrum version. It just didn't look right trying to film Spectaculator on the video camera. I might as well just use its recording facility because it looks better. You can see Impossible Mission's got a bit of a crazy keyboard layout there. Cap, Shift and Z for left and right, P and L for up and down. But it's exactly the same game. It's got the same sort of strengths and weaknesses and annoyances that all the other versions had, but it plays really, really quite well. Graphically, yeah, it's got the Spectrum's usual issues, but I think the actual characters, etc., are clearer on the Spectrum version than they are on the other ones. It looks really, really nice. It's got some good sound in it. Great animation on the character, and it's just exactly the same as you can see here. Just go around, search everything, avoid the robots, use codes to disable robots, etc. Again, as with all the other versions, I'm probably playing it completely wrong here. I don't know. You be the judge of that. You, the ones of you that have experience of Impossible Mission, please tell me what I'm doing wrong, because there's bound to be something. But yeah, it plays really, really nicely. It's not a bad game at all. It stacks up well against the other versions. It could have done, I suppose, with a sort of enhancement on the for 128K machines with some of the speech that we heard on the Commodore 64, some of that fantastic speech. But it hasn't got it, but it doesn't break it. The Amstrad version, or the BBC Micro versions, don't have it. They're still really good games. But anyway, there's not an awful lot to say, really. It's the same game, just on the Spectrum. So I'm going to just let the gameplay segment play out until we get to the outro. See you in a bit. Okay, there we go. That was the 4 versions of Impossible Mission for Amstrad, Commodore, BBC and ZX Spectrum, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts and on the similarities and differences between all versions. Please shout out about the version that you were familiar with, how you think it compares to the other ones, because that's what it's all about. The Amstrad version was the first version I ever played, and it was quite an impressive introduction to it. I really did like the way the Amstrad version looked, sounded, played. It was frustrating, but then the game is frustrating at times. The Commodore 64 version is just, you know, the synthesized speech on it and the sort of echoey sort of footsteps that you get when you run in sort of like between the rooms, etc. It's just absolutely brilliant. And I can see why they used to sort of go ha ha at us when we didn't have a version of Impossible Mission. It really is good. The BBC Micro version, again, surprising. You can see there are visible compromises in graphical quality, etc. But the game plays just fine. You know, if you were a BBC Micro owner back in the day, I'm sure you would have been happy with receiving that version. Similarly with the Spectrum version, you know, graphically it was a lot different, again, because of the machine. But it sounded good, it was designed well, it played well, which is the important thing. So there wasn't really a bad version of them, but the Commodore 64 version does stand out above the others, and that's without decrying the quality of the others. It's just another level of better. But yeah, please, your experiences of the Impossible Mission game, it's very difficult. It's one of those games that I think you have to get in the zone on. If you're in the zone, then you'll probably be invincible and find yourself sort of flying through the screens with, you know, with the greatest of ease. But then when you hit a down patch, it would be difficult to get out of, dying all the time and stuff. So yeah, it is a frustrating game, and it's also an incredibly good one. I did enjoy that. Whether or not I'll go back to it, not too sure. Might do for the odd 10 minutes here or there. Might try checking out a playthrough just to sort of see what you do with that console in the bottom right hand corner. I didn't have a clue. Anyway, if you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. But if you do subscribe, please take the time to join in with the conversation, because I'm going to say it, that's what it's all about. Okay, thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.